I think social media is great. I've talked about it on my podcast with my buddy Derek, but I think that there's a fundamental issue that has been talked about that has been nagging me for a little while, and that is young individuals who proclaim the ability to be a motivational coach or a life coach. Let's talk about that. What bothers me so much about these individuals proclaiming life coaching abilities or motivation coaching abilities is fundamentally their lack of experience. I understand that there can be an individual out there, and there's many individuals out there, who have experienced life from an interesting perspective. I have Crohn's disease. That is an interesting perspective from somebody who doesn't have Crohn's disease. I've gone from middle school, high school, college, and then a career, and some people haven't done that. What I think is fundamentally broken about the idea of somebody my age who's built an Instagram account, has a following, and is now proclaiming to offer you the great opportunity of receiving life coaching from them is that they fundamentally haven't necessarily experienced the life experiences that would allow them to have that ability to coach other people from an honest perspective. So this all came about because recently I saw somebody that I follow on Instagram shared the story, on their stories they shared an account of one of their friends, and that friend was a life coach. And that life coach, before clicking on it, I decided I was going to make some assumptions and see if they were accurate. My first assumption was that this individual was young. I think that makes sense because the person that I followed that reposted it was young. So that's an easy assumption. Secondly, that the account was very small and sub 100,000, sub maybe even 10,000 followers. And the third element was that their stories and their life experiences, if you scrolled through their feed, weren't going to be such novel rags to riches or I built a business and here's how you can do the same thing kind of experiences. And so I decided to go to their profile and actually test that. And lo and behold, not a shocker, but all three of those assumptions were correct. The person was in their mid-20s, Secondly, they lived a pretty, uninteresting life. It's not like they had some incredible amount of followers that, we followed him because we were following his rags to riches story. I think they had, a few thousand followers, which it's easy to fake, one, and two, it's not hard to garner a few thousand followers. I mean, I have, let's say, 1,400 followers on Instagram, and that's without posting any consistent, content. It's not like I have a specific, content that I follow. I'm not like doing photography specifically. I'm not doing personal updates. It's not a personal account or a photography account or a professional account. It's just whatever, kind of blog thing, whatever I'm interested in, I post on it. And so like this individual had finally, like I said, they didn't have the life experiences that you would expect somebody who was a life coach to have. One thing that I had struggled with the character David Goggins, who's been on Joe Rogan's podcast and he's been on many other podcasts. He's written a book about being living in a difficult way. And what I noticed initially was like, this guy talks about all these hard things. He's not exactly an eloquent speaker. I think people are stoked on his motivation. Oh, he has a military career. Some of the things seem a little fantastic. Well, when you actually look at it, it is fantastic. He was actually overweight. He lost a ton of weight. Now he's an ultra marathoner recreationally. He's written a book about those tales, and it's a long story of, the proverbial rags to riches, the weak mind to the strong mind. And that's through actually doing it. And now, after experiencing those things, now he's in his 40s, he's actually able to share that from a perspective that can help others. And I don't think 25-year-olds or somebody in their mid-20s who's lived in suburbia, who's gone through college, done the pretty standard track, has decided, I'm going to build a business from teaching other people how to live their best life. I don't think that's a perspective that somebody should pay. Sure, go out as a 25-year-old and write a book. You could write a book that's focused on a specific subject, the one thing. Anybody could write this book because, there's research in this book that would give an interesting perspective. Although, obviously, the author is somewhat of an expert in the subject, but if anybody could write this book and it could actually provide value. Another book, The Hard Thing About Hard Things. Again, you can build a topic into, an educational moment through research and experience. But if you as an individual are going to offer coaching services to other people and expect that they're going to pay you money and exorbitant sums, a life coach is going to demand thousands of dollars because you, as a result of their coaching, are going to achieve more. You're going to get more out of your 9 to 5. Maybe you'll build your side hustle from a side hustle into your main career, or maybe even you'll become a millionaire. They'll sell you on that. We'll allow you to become financially free with our coaching. Although this individual that I'm referring to that sparked this thought didn't actually proclaim those things, the coaching was relatively benign. I could get some of those same messages from these books. The Compound Effect, as you'll notice, it's waterlogged from that one time that I went out. It was in my day-to-day, everyday carry backpack, and I got covered in rain, so the book got damaged. But the point being, you have to have an interesting experience, or garner and collect the experience of others and aggregate them into something you share in the form of a book. But you can't write a course about your life experiences and tell others that this is life coaching. Get out of here. So that was my hot, spicy take. I wanted to ramble about the stupidity that is the social media life coaches. Experience something, have concise thoughts on it, and then be the coach. Maybe in 50 years I could be a life coach. Not now. I don't expect I could coach. I could share my experiences and my perspectives on things and specific instances, but I'm not going to aggregate that into some bizarre life coaching perspective that I can tell other people that because of my experiences that I'm going to share with you, you can be a better you. No. I'd rather test those for years. Test my experiences that I would be sharing in the form of a life coach course or mentorship, and then if those turn out to be true, then maybe I'll share those. But I would never ever expect that a few years of prosperity is going to be worthy of somebody else's dollars. Not yet. Perhaps in the future. But thank you for listening to this take. And obviously like the video if you think that it was helpful, or that you thought that you've experienced the same thing and then you're like, why are these people sharing their life coaching courses? And then subscribe to this channel. I'd like to share more podcasts, more perspectives from me. Don't follow it if you expect it to be a life coaching channel. It's not. I expect to have conversations with people like my buddy Derek, like Patrick, like Emma. We're going to talk about interesting things, extract information. Perhaps they have a perspective on different things that you might not have a circle of friends that has that perspective, and you can widen your horizons through that. I don't expect that my perspective will change your ability to succeed at life, but perhaps you take a tidbit here, take a tidbit there. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.